in Revelation chapter 13, beginning at verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now think about that. We've already saw in Revelation chapter 12, where it described the great dragon as being another wonder in heaven. This great dragon also had 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay? Now what are we learning from this? What is the word teaching us from this about the adversary and about the work of the adversary? Because this beast that's being described here looks similar to that same dragon that we learned about in chapter 12 of Revelation. What's being made manifest is how the adversary, just as the Most High is doing, has reduplicated himself on the earth. Let's move on. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. Keep that thought in mind. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Now, I'm not sure how many of you Bible students out there are familiar with the prophecies of Daniel. But what the prophet John just did, he drew from what Daniel already revealed about the 4 beasts that he saw in his vision. The first beast that Daniel saw was like a lion, which pointed to the Babylonian Empire. The second beast that he saw, which was like a bear, pointed to the Median and Persian Empire. The third beast that he saw, which was like a leopard, pointed to the Grecian Empire. But then he saw another beast, a 4th beast, which was different from the others. It didn't even have another animal that you can compare it to. But what we learned and what we mentioned earlier is that this 4th beast actually engulfed the 3 beasts prior, which is why when you get to Revelation chapter 13, you have included in its description characteristics of the previous 3 kingdoms or beasts, with the leopard, the bear, and the lion. But we're not done. It continues, Revelation 13 verse 2. And the dragon, the same dragon that had 7 heads and 10 horns, the exact same one that is now being made manifest on the earth through this particular beast or this particular kingdom. And the dragon gave him, gave who? Gave the beast his power, his seat, and great authority. So what do we see happening here? We see the adversary against humanity now making his presence known in the earth through this system. That's what we're learning. Let's turn now to Revelation chapter 17. And again, he's going to take us a little further into what it is the adversary is doing. So Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1, which reads, And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. First and foremost, okay, it refers to a great whore. Who is this great whore? And what does it mean that it sits upon many waters? Now later on in the chapter, it basically explains the water as being peoples, nations, tongues, kindreds. Okay? But who is this great whore? And it mentions how the kings, in other words, the rulers of the earth, had made a union. That's what the committing fornication is about. The kings, the rulers of this earth, shall make a union with this great whore. And the inhabitants, now it's talking about us. Now take your mind back to what it says about that great dragon which deceiveth the whole world. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk, intoxicated now, with the wine of her fornication. Now, in this particular aspect, it's referring to the doctrine of this woman, this great whore. Verse 3, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman. Now he's taking them a little further. This same great whore, this woman, sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. This is the exact same beast that we learn about in Revelation chapter 13, which is only a replica of that great dragon we learn about in Revelation chapter 12. But now it's saying it's scarlet colored, not just a name of blasphemy, but now it's full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup. Now, for those of you, once again, Bible students, run a reference on the golden cup, because Yirmiyahu touches on the golden cup in reference to Babylon. So let's move on. Having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. In other words, her doctrine. This great harlot, this woman who is riding the beast. Now keep in mind, if the beast is a political power, okay, if that's what it symbolizes, the question we now have to ask ourselves, what does this woman riding the beast symbolize? Think about that. Meditate on that. It says, verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written. Now, why on the forehead? See, one thing you know about the forehead represents that conscious mind of ours. You see, the forehead represents that part of us that is in tune with what's happening at this point in time. The conscious mind, okay? But it also, since it is a name written on the forehead, now it serves something else. It is now a mark of identification, which we're going to see. First thing it says, mystery. What does that mean? What does it mean for it to say mystery? What is a mystery? A mystery implies something that is concealed. So whatever it is about this woman is something that you won't be able to detect. Now let's back up a little bit. When you talk about deception, and when they asked the Messiah those questions regarding his coming and the end of this age, and when these things shall be, the first response was not to let any man deceive you. See, when we are deceived, when we are tricked into believing something that is not true, and if it is the truth, where does the truth lie? The truth is